Welcome back, Lorcana players. It's Poisonous. Today we're going to count down the best cards in the new Azurite Sea expansion, which is hitting stores soon. This top 7 countdown is going to look at the cards that I think are going to be the most played and most useful cards. Not necessarily the most powerful. There's lots of cards in every expansion that seem like they would be quite strong, but really aren't playable or don't fit anywhere. So we're going to be focusing on cards that are going to show up in new meta decks and will have an impact on the game. Alright, let's take a look at the new Ruby cards from Azurite Sea. Starting at the 7th spot, we have Moana, Kakamora Leader. She's a 7 cost, inkable, 6/5, who shifts for 5, quests for 1, has the ability Gathering Forces. When you play this character, you may move any number of your characters to the same location for free, gain 1 lore for each character you moved. So this card's interesting. It is expensive to play, and the shift is pretty high at 5. It's very similar to Clarabelle. The big thing with this card, of course, is moving all your other characters to a location and gaining a lore for each one. So if you have a location in play, this card basically reads gain 1 lore for each of your other characters. I could see this being useful if you move all your characters to the RLS Legacy to give everyone evasive. I also think that maybe there's some potential for Thieves Big Olive here. So you can move all your characters to Thebes all at once, and then when you start challenging, gaining 2 lore for each time you banish an opposing character in those challenges. So I think that, that could be kind of an unexpected way to burst down your opponent, gaining lore for moving your characters there, and then gaining 2 more lore for your challenges from there. So I think this card has some potential. It's a pirate, so you can play it in any pirate deck, and it goes really well with the new 1-drop Moana. So I think overall this card's going to see play. I think that it's good, and I do like the design of this card. At number 6, we have Tigger in the Crow's Nest. He's a 3-cost, inkable, 0/4 with evasive. His ability Swash Your Buckles says whenever you play an action, this character gains +1 strength and +1 lore this turn. I think that this card, first of all, it's a pirate, so it can see play in your pirate decks, but I think this card is a good enabler for the red-green action deck that kind of wants to be but has never been fully viable. If you play a lot of actions in one turn, Tigger could quest for a lot. This card could also be used in red-blue if you play enough actions and use Lucky Dime. Questing with him and getting value off Dime could be pretty good as well. And 0/4, it's an interesting stat line for a 3-cost, but because he's evasive, he might survive. So I think that it's an interesting card and could see play in the right deck. Coming in at number 5 is Wendy Darling, Courageous Captain. She's a 2-cost, uninkable, 1/2 with evasive. Her ability Look, Lively Crew. While you have another pirate character in play, this character gains +1 strength and +1 lore. So if you have another pirate, she basically becomes a 2/2 quests for 2 with evasive, and you get all your pirate synergies with her. I think that you'll see the play for her in a lot of pirate decks. Of course, this would be a good card to trade into a Diablo, and otherwise an evasive that quest for 2 is pretty strong, especially on turn 2. So this card could see play in red steel or red yellow pirates for sure. At number 4, we have Mickey Mouse, Pirate Captain. He's a 5-cost, inkable, 4/4, shift 3 Floodborn, quest for 2, and his ability Mariner's Might. Whenever this character quests, chosen pirate character gets +2 strength and gains. This character takes no damage from challenges this turn. So this card definitely has potential. I see that this getting a lot of play in pirate decks because of the, abilities that it has. I like that it's a Floodborn at 5 costs, so in red steel, it's an easy shift onto the 1-drop Mickey Mouse Food Fighter that has resist, and then on turn 3, you could potentially play a Grab Your Sword or a Whole New World if you're looking for card draw in that color combination. And a 4/4 is, a good sized body. It gets around Medusa and some of the other removal that way, and I like this card. I think that it's going to see play in every pirate deck that uses Ruby. Coming in at number 3, we have Raya, Kumadrin Rider. I think that this might actually be the first playable Raya they've printed in the game. She's a 4-cost, inkable, 3/3, quest for 2, and her ability says once during your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, you may ready chosen character of yours. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. So this is Ruby's new card that triggers on ink, and I think that this one might be one of the more powerful effects. because it allows you to ready a character. So a character that has quested could now challenge, or a character that has challenged could challenge again. I think there's some interesting combos that could happen here. One that I can think of off the top of my head is with Super Goofy. He has Rush, you play him, he challenges, you gain your 2 lore, you ink a card, he readies, he challenges again, you gain 2 more lore. So that's kind of 4 lore out of nowhere, which could be pretty strong. In red-blue, where you might be inking multiple times per turn, you could theoretically ready characters multiple times per turn. It would be useful to help Maui challenge down locations, as locations are a pretty weak spot for the red-blue deck. So I think that this card will see play. Raya is finally getting a little bit of respect on her name. At number 2, we have Maui Half Shark. Without a doubt, this is the most exciting and powerful red card of the set. He's a 6-cost inkable 7/5 with evasive, and he's got 2 effects. Whenever this character challenges another character, you may return an action from your discard to your hand, so you get some recursion from your discard for actions. And his other ability, whenever you play an action, gain 1 lore. But I think that this is another card that definitely seems like it could be an enabler for the red-green action deck, as you'd profit a lot off playing multiple actions per turn, and his ability to bring back actions means that you should have a steady supply of actions to use. This card could have interesting synergy with Robin Hood Sharpshooter, because that card lets you play a lot of actions and also put a lot into your discard, and Maui can potentially bring them back. And with the red-green card, you have the ability to ready a character using You Came Back, so you could ready Maui, have him challenge again, bring that card back, play it again, creating a bit of a loop. So there's, some different interesting possibilities there. I think that this card's definitely a fun design, and Maui is a popular character. I think that it was a bit of a disappointment that this card didn't get the enchanted treatment. The only reason that this card isn't number 1 is that I think that there is a more playable card that you're going to see in the number 1 spot, but this card is going to be a chase card in terms of legendaries for sure. And the top spot goes to Moana, Self-Taught Sailor. She's a 1-cost inkable 3/2, and her ability, Learning the Ropes, says this character can't challenge unless you have a captain character in play. I think being an inkable 1-drop that has 3/2 stats, even if she can't challenge, is still an extremely playable card, even if you don't run captains in the deck, because almost anything that your opponent's going to do is going to be a trade to get rid of her if she just keeps questing. But in a pirate deck, she's going to be, an absolutely stellar card. She has the ability to enable your Flynn on 2 against a lot of characters that your opponent could possibly play, so you don't have to worry about having like the 3-drop Sisu if you're going for a build like that. And I think that this card's gonna see play in every red deck pretty much, regardless of what the theme of that deck is, because it's a good card. And I'm happy that it's a common, means that it's gonna be easy to get a hold of. It's not gonna be like the Daisy Duck of last set where she's quite expensive and a lot of decks wanted to run her. So that's why I put it at number 1 over Maui, although I think Maui is a much more fun card. Overall, I think Ruby did pretty good. They got lots of good pirate deck enablers and some fun cards like Raya and Maui. Definitely made out better than they did in set 5 in terms of new and fun things for Ruby. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any comments about the cards that I chose or the cards that I didn't choose, feel free to drop them below. Please like and subscribe.